The screen, John? Do you need the?
Right.
Do you need this?
No. What I just threw at Simon, and now Jalen has it for some reason, is a ping pong ball. It is white. It can usually be orange or white, and it has a width of 40 millimeters and is made out of celluloid. What I'm going to be talking about is table tennis, otherwise known as ping pong, which some people call it, and specifically about the history of how ping pong or table tennis was created and the rules and how they grip the ping pong paddle and the equipment which is used in the game. The history of table tennis was invented at the end of the 19th century in England, and for the table it was just an ordinary dinner table, and the net was just a stack of books lined in the middle of the table with from lids from empty cigar boxes for the rackets, and usually rubber balls or champagne corks for the balls, and they didn't know quite what to call it back then, so they just called it gossamer, and but then they after that they called it whiff-waff or flim-flam because of the different sounds the ball made throughout the air and the paddle. But then by 1901, an English manufacturer called J. Jock, he named it ping pong, and he then copyrighted it and sold it to the Parker brothers in the USA. But then by 1920, table tennis, the name was created in England, and they started using it in Europe. And then back then, when the pimpled rubber racket was invented in 1903 by E.C. Goody, he just put pimpled rubber on wooden blades for the racket. And by 1905, 2 years later, James Gibb created the celluloid ball, which I tossed over there. And in London, by 1927, the first World Championships was held in London. And in 1988, the Olympic Games first introduced ping pong. And in 1990, 2 years later, Sweden was the best in ping pong, and after that won the next 5 World Team Championships with their best player, Joe Waldner, who first played in 1971, but went on to get into national team 4 years later in 1975. And he competed in the first 5 Olympics. He was one of the 7 players who just competed in the first 5 Olympics, and he won the gold medal for singles in 1992, and in 2000 he won silver in the singles again. Now the second part, the rules. Rules are quite simple. You just begin with a coin toss, and whoever wins they call either which side they want, or they get to they get to serve first. And the serving, you have to throw it just straight up into the air, and you cannot spin it in the air, and when it comes back down, you get to hit it over. It has to hit your side first, and then over the net onto the other side, and the other player hits it over the net and onto your side, and just goes back and forth until someone misses it or hits twice on your side, and you get a point or they get a point. But if you're serving and it hits the net, it's just a fault and you get to redo it. And first one to 21 wins, but you have to win by 2 points, so if it's 20-20, you have to go to 22 to win. And the 3 main grips for the game, there's the shake hands grip, which is just basically you're shaking hands, you just hold it like this. That's usually what I use when I play ping pong. And the pen hold grip, where you put your 3 fingers right here, and your forefinger and your thumb right here, just like when you're holding a pen. And then the last one, the C-Miller grip, which is kind of like the pen hold grip, the shake hand grip, and you have the shake hands, but then your forefinger and your thumb is on the sides of the ping pong paddle. And The last thing, the equipment that's used in the game is the table, the net, the racket, and the ping pong ball. The table has to be 9 by 5 feet with the surface of the area 30 inches above the floor. And the color is usually non-reflecting green or blue. And there's a 3/4 of an inch white line going around the edge of the table and a 1/4 of an inch white line straight through the middle. The net has to be 6 inches high and cuts right through the middle of the table. And then the racket has 2 parts. The blade in the middle, that's all made of wood, and the rubber part on the side to just make it have it hit the ball easier. And there's 2 different types of pimple kind, or just the smooth. And the smooth one helps to spin the ball when you're hitting it. And the ball, like I said earlier, is either white or orange color, and it is 40 millimeters in width and made out of celluloid. What you should know in conclusion, that the history, it was made up in the late 19th century, and the term ping pong came in 1901 by J. Jock. And then the rules, first 1 to 21 wins. You have to win by 2 points by hitting once on each side. And then the grips, the shake hand, the pen hold, and the C-Miller grip. And then the equipment, the table, the racket, the net, and the ball. That's it.